Thank you for having me today. I'll be giving you more of a demo than a talk today of Cypress.io. This is a tool I discovered some time ago and I think didn't get enough attention over our internet. Let's say the pages you visit and get your new shiny stuff for development. So I wanted to share with you today. During this presentation, I'll be showing you how to set it up and start to work with it. So if you have your laptop with you, you can start right away with installing it. I'll show it to you in a minute. If during the presentation you see that I moved those tables, just tell me, because ruining my laptop is a thing that can happen to me. So just tell me if you see it. All right, so basically what Cypress.io does is E2E testing, end-to-end testing. And what is end-to-end testing is kind of a testing that is checking a flow for your entire application. Compared to the, let's say, unit test, where you check for some small specific part of your system, Cypress.io allows you to create a test that goes through your entire system, and using some real-life scenario, create a test that will be verifying that some specific process for your application is behaving correctly. I'm pretty sure that you may be used to a tool called Selenium. I'm pretty sure that some of you have tried it already and know how to use it. So if I wanted to compare Cypress to Selenium, that the major difference here would be that Cypress runs inside the web browser. For now it's Chrome, but there are plans to implement it for other web browsers, and that's a huge difference. Why is that? Because what Selenium does is that it's an application that tells your web browser to do stuff. So for example, Selenium runs Chrome instance, then asks it, for example, go to this page, then click on this button, and then it gets response from the browser if it's lucky enough to get it. Because there may be a lot of different things happening, like there may be a delay on your web page with loading it, and Selenium will not be able to know that because it does not reside in your web browser. And that's what's like the core difference between those two, because Cypress is running into your web browser. So for example, when you create your test and ask it to visit some page or do some kind of interaction for your page, it can take into account things like, I don't know, AJAX request, for instance. So it knows that you're firing an AJAX request, and you need to wait for it. It does it seamlessly for you. You don't need to even worry about it. You do not need like create waits that are just to make sure that your tests are waiting for some process to finish. And yeah, it makes your test stable, and it doesn't make your test suite run for like an hour just because you have those enormous time waiting for your test to process. Cypress has really easy to use API. I'll be giving you a demo how the test in Cypress looks like. So I'm pretty sure that just looking from the code, you'll be able to tell what it does. So we'll do it in a moment. It has really great debugging tools. As I said, it's running into your web browser. Then you're able to go to any point during your test and be in the context of what's happening currently in the browser. You can debug things as they are in a specific part of your test. And it also has graphical user interface and CLI for things like taking screenshot and recording videos. It may be quite useful in scenarios like if you're running it from some continuous integration servers where your tests are being run for you. So in order to debug it, you can just use those screenshots and the videos that's been taken using Cypress. I think that's enough of this formal talk. Let's go straight to the demo. If you want to start using Cypress right now, the web page you should start with is cypress.io. They have all the stuff you need. Just right there. There is one thing that, and that's maybe the major reason why it's still not getting that much. I don't know, let's say, the talk and all stuff in the internet. It's still in closed beta, so you need to have get an access to it. It used to be like the guys from Cypress had to invite you, but it's not a case anymore. Now anyone who already uses Cypress can invite you, so you can ask me. I think Michał, Agnieszka, and Maciek already have an access there. So if you need to create an account, you need to create an account because you're logging here using your GitHub account. And if anyone just want that, you can find me or someone else during or after a presentation. And to install your Cypress on your computer, it's now installed as an npm module. That the also other thing that I should mention already is that Cypress is for now running on OS 10 and Linux. There is support coming for Windows, but it's not there yet. So if you're on Windows, you're not lucky enough to use it now. So yeah, let's after the installation and logging into your site to log in to your GitHub account in Cypress, it starts with a graphical user interface where you can manage all your projects you have for your Cypress tests. And I'll be giving you a demo on Goody application, the one that you've heard about a lot of, I think, during last month here in the company. I have an installation of Goody here on my computer, and I'll be running some tests that were created by developers here. I mean me, Agnieszka, and Maciek. So yeah, let's just go straight there. The first time you start your process with Cypress, you add your project to this graphical user interface. It will create for you a directory structure that will give you like scaffold for starting testing with Cypress. All the things related to Cypress will be kept in your in the root directory of your application, in directory called Cypress. So what do we have now is the most interesting directory you have is integration, where you will be keeping all your tests. You can organize them. I know it's hard to see my tree here, but I'll try to do my best to tell you what I do here. So the integration directory keeps all files for your tests, and you can just split them between multiple files in order to keep some concerns there. Like you have some tests related to one specific functionality, you can keep them in one file. There is also all the configuration here for Cypress is done in support directory, where you can override some default settings for it, but it comes with really good defaults. I think it will be enough for most of you to start using it. So it's not that important to start modifying it from the very beginning. Well, over time you may find something you need to adjust and then have a look at it. And there are also directories for your screenshots and videos. So once you run your Cypress test suite from the CLI, it will automatically take screenshots of failing tests and record the video or whole process, so you know what's happening. Because you can't see it's running headless from there, you can't see what's happening from when it's run over the CLI. So I think it's we can have a look on some tests we have there. As you can see there, it's a basic JavaScript test using really simple API that yeah, as I said, you can tell from there what we have here. We have some session management related tests, and we have validation here for we test for email validation, for logging in and for logging out, and each line of this test here is just like one step in your test. So you can just go through it and see what happens there. We can fire it and see how it works there. Just let me run my Cypress, and we're now on session spec. I can just click one. I can run all my tests in the entire project, or I can just click one of them, and it will magically start Chrome and start running. As you can see, it's doing some nice stuff there for me. It's we just ran the test I've showed you. So yeah. So let me introduce you to the interface of Cypress here. On the very left, you have a sidebar showing you your test suite, the list of tests you're running. You can go through all the steps of your test by clicking it. It displays you each step that's being done here in order to run your test. As you can see there, we have a test for checking if our form here on login page is validating the email address. So the steps looks like that. We're visiting some page that shows the login form. Then we look for the element that will be filling the text into. It's an email address field. We type some text here. I know it's hard to see it now. And we type some text and then click the button, and then we do some assertion that there is the text showing that the email address is invalid. And what's great about this whole sidebar here is I can, as you can see, as I did it right now, I can click through each step of my test and see how the DOM changed, and I can debug it from there even further. For example, I have like typing text here. It's showing me, it's highlighting me the element on the web page that is using in this part of test. I can disable it, and I can see, for example, what's the before and after state of that when I'm performing my test. What's more, I can inspect, use my Chrome DevTools to see even more. Let me just make it bigger. Oh my, it's too big. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. So once I click through the steps here, it gives me a hint in my console what's happening. It gives me some information about this particular step of my test. And you can do things like that. You can reveal it in Elements panel if you want to do some more debugging on it. So it's pretty straightforward to go through all of it and see how your test executes. It gives you. Let me just run the whole test suite for now. It's pretty magical. It's really nice to look at when it does all that funny things there. It's pretty fast compared to other end-to-end testing tools. Since it's much faster. Since it lives in your web browser, it doesn't have to wait for anything because it knows it's finished. So
it's also faster to set up and to write tests. Actually.
Yeah, it's pretty fast because you get all the scaffolding for straight. It's like you add your project, you get the scaffolding, you can start write your test and run it, and that's it basically.
Still, I guess that a lot of tests they can run like for 1 hour.
Yeah.
This is,
Definitely.
This is end-to-end testing, right? So.
Yep. So let's just, I just want to show you when there's some failure. I believe there is, because I hope so. It was before before the start of this presentation. Yeah, but as you can see, it's pretty nice just to look at it, how it happens, everything there.
This tests your business logic, right?
Yeah, so you can test basically it's mostly for testing your business logic. Every real life scenario you can think of, you can, obviously, no, all passes, yeah. So, yeah, it's too bad. It's the situation, it's too bad. So you can find any business logic scenario for your application you want. As you can see here, we have, with the application, we're testing things like creating a project when clients visits our site and create a project, then send some message to client and they discuss stuff. All the live scenario we're not testing. It's not like unit internal testing when you're testing like a specific small part of your API to verify it's returning the result you're expecting. It's more like testing all parts of your system for making sure it's working properly from the very beginning. All right, thank you. Thank you so much.